Before Alero gets into this next topic, I'd like to show off my gift. I have not unwrapped it. Alero, I think I'll unwrap mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
From Peace.
from Peace, the gift curator. I don't know why she didn't do it online while we were live. It's Christmas. Actually, I waited till 26th, right? But Alero, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Boxing
Ooh,
Day.
this is nice. It's a mug, a coffee mug.
With several fingers.
Yeah, so I'm going to drink more coffee. My gift.
Good for you. Now, thank you for staying with us. It's still our Christmas edition because this is the Saturday before Christmas. And this period, one major thing that matters is having enough money to meet all one's needs. All that running around, shopping, buying gifts, buying food stuff and all that. I don't know why Nigerians feel it's important to buy rice at Christmas. Anybody who heard us or who saw us running around, would think that we only ate rice at Christmas. Well, that's the way it is.
It's a delicacy.
So we shop for the family, we shop for friends, we give gifts, and we organize get-togethers, we organize open house on Christmas Day and Boxing Day. And then in the end, we don't remember that January is going to come, and with January comes all kinds of expenses.
Bills.
School fees, sometimes house rent. So how do we manage ourselves in this period so that we do not find ourselves under the burden of debt after the celebration? Well, we have Mrs. Juliet Benitier. She's an all-rounder. I'm not going to introduce her as anything. And we also have an economist, Mr. Dotun Mabinuri. Good morning. Thank you very much for coming. Let me begin. Apart from being everything, Juliet is also a woman.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that most of the spending this period is done by women.
Yeah.
We go from, okay, we're going to buy grocery from this market. Then we're going to buy wet stuff from the other market. And then we're going to buy, and then we're always buying this season, Juliet. So, how do we manage all those buyings so that we do not end up in debt after Christmas?
My pleasure being here once again. Merry Christmas in advance.
Merry Christmas.
I believe that as a people, we need to have some retrospect of our lifestyle and our culture in clarity with what is happening. With a nation that has almost 100 million poor people living on $1.9, $1, less than $2 a day. And according to World Bank, it's going to get worse because we're not addressing the issues. And as I was coming this morning, I remembered even in scripture when it was time for the Passover or the sacrifices of lambs and the requirements for certain sacrifices to be made. I remember that it was said that if you cannot afford a lamb, you should share with your neighbor to buy it. And this sharing did not necessarily mean that it is one person or two persons. There wasn't a limit of the number of families to come together to present that one lamb. Even God accepted the fact that some people couldn't afford it. I believe that this kind of Christmas, especially at this moment of sobriety, we need to know how to share together. Those who can buy, who cannot buy that bag of rice.
Sharing.
Yes. Those who cannot buy that bag of rice, can friends come together and buy? And if you have a Christmas party that you used to do by yourself, can 5 friends come together and make that Christmas party? So the so-called bill that you used to spend maybe 2 million, a million, you can reduce the amount for those big guys, remembering that there are other younger guys beside you. This Christmas should also give us the opportunity. Who has a problem? Do you have a friend that is going through stuff? Do you have a driver and a housekeeper that you can uplift their top this year? Because Christmas is a sign of giving. The number one factor of Christmas is giving, yet announcing a new era of rulership and kindness. And so in the midst of a Roman emperor oppression comes a unique announcement, peace and joy to the whole world. And of course, there can't be peace and joy when you're going through poverty. It's not funny. And so Christmas reminds everybody of the fun and the excitement. And here I am, I'm not having fun and excitement because somebody does not know how to share. When the story of the Good Samaritan was being given, it was juxtaposed against eternal life. Meaning that what gives you the criteria to have a relationship with God is your giving. How do you treat the neighbor? And so we need to go beyond ourselves in this Christmas and don't think about your own personal expenditure, but think about everybody else. This is a season that people are going to have to cut down their coat, especially those in the villages. You know, sometimes the demand at home within the villages is also one issue we are having right now. Cultural context now. The mama that is expecting that bag of rice, can she take a quarter this year? Mama that is expecting a goat, can she replace the goat with the chicken? There have to be a reduction and scaling according to kind. So that in January, the children that need to go to school, not just your children, no, I'm not so much concerned about paying the school fees of my children. It's my ability at my age to begin to expand my horizon to other people who cannot even afford to do what I can do.
In other words, cut your coat according to your cloth,
Yeah,
not
fabric,
according to
not
your
to the
size.
size. No,
Okay.
fabric.
Okay, we need to take a quick one. We'll be back shortly. Please stay with us. The conversation will continue in a moment. Okay, so thank you for staying with us. And remember, at the beginning, I told you we actually have a guest anchor who's supposed to help us ask some of these questions. And he came in at just the right time. And incidentally, he married my sister. So, and we were just talking about the fact that how sometimes you decide as a man, at the same time, I won't eat again. Then you come back home and your Calabar wife has prepared some things. You know that kind of a thing?
Some things with some better
things.
animals inside.
Okay, so let him tell us. Ali Baba, talk.
Animals that are not dogs. It's always a challenge for every man that wants to lose weight. When you get home, you must eat. Even if you eat out, when you come and she says, "Have you eaten?" you say no. Because you don't want to go into the question of where did you eat? What did you eat?
No,
Why did you
sometimes
eat?
it's not where did you eat. It's what did you eat? My wife will say, "What did you eat?"
Then they ask, "Who gave you?"
Her own is, "What did you eat?"
Your wife is not inquisitive. That question
Who gave you food?
Who give you food? Why did you eat? Okay, so I shouldn't be making food again. You said no. Because I said after 7 p.m. no more food. When I got home one day, about 8:30, the hunger was ripe. I said, "No, friend, just drink a glass of water." I slept. At about 9:15, I said, "Would the kitchen have closed?" My wife said, "It closed before 7." I said, "So what do we do?" I said, "Unless you're coming down to the kitchen with me." I said, "Let's go." Decked Afang and the bar at 9:45.
Oh, God. The man who's trying to lose weight.
It's dangerous, but we have people who eat at 12 midnight.
And they don't add weight. I have a friend who eats like any time. Emeka will eat. If you see him,
Bumi Davis.
Letter I.
Bumi Davis is like Fido Dido. He eats anything.
Stick.
It will not. Apparently, it's metabolism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their metabolism is something else.
It's out of this world.
Those ones were built to fast.
Let's bring in Dotun. Before we went on that break and Alibaba came in, Mrs. Benicio was talking about spending in this season. And you as an economist, how should we be spending? She talked about, instead of spending all, why don't you share it? I mean, 3 of us can come together and say, let's buy a goat for the Christmas period. Instead of you wanting to buy one, she buy one, me buy one, Ali will buy a cow. So how should we be doing this?
All right, then. Let me come in as you just rightly said, an economist. There are 3 reasons why people try to get money in economy. We call it demand for money. One is speculative motive. That's money needed for business. Transactionary motive, money needed to meet daily activities. Then precautionary motive. That's money kept aside to meet future obligations. This Yuletide period, we realize that the transactionary motive and the precautionary motive collide to become one. That is, all the money they get at this hour of the day is spending. So I think it's more of cultural belief to us than even reality, because so there's some expenditure we embark upon. There's some things we buy this December that to an extent are unnecessary. One, what is the relationship between chicken and Jesus Christ? I don't know. Or rice and Jesus Christ. Why is it that every Christmas the demand for chicken, demand for rice, turkey, and the likes? The Christmas is like every other day. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
not eat rice except at Christmas.
Christmas.
Or Easter.
And in a tray.
And in
And tray.
Everybody has a spoon.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I guess.
And when there's no spoon, you use hand.
If it's not hot.
If it's open.
Maybe it's hot, there's a way to go around you. You put it on immediately. So that is one. Then two, I also like to go into what they call theory of consumption. We have different theories of consumption. What I'm saying is that I'm trying to like get the theoretical backing for our behavior. One, there are four major prominent theories we have in economics in terms of consumption. We have the absolute income hypothesis by John Maynard Keynes. We have relative income hypothesis.
Please,
I will explain
that
them.
woman
I will
was going to the
explain.
market. Does she
dear.
think about this?
Yes, no,
Yeah.
you will see how they affect our consumption. We have relative income hypothesis by James Bendry. We have permanent income hypothesis by Milton Friedman, and relative and then life cycle hypothesis by MBA. Now, the one that actually pertains to us now at this hour of the day, which portends a serious danger.
Don't go up by market women.
Yeah, there's a serious danger. Is permanent
That's
income
my
hypothesis.
hypothesis as well.
Now, according to Milton Friedman, he said consumers' income is divided into two: permanent income and transitory income. Transitory income is that one that comes like a windfall, that is not expected, which most of us get this December.
Like
but this is time
allowance.
furniture allowance, 13th-month salary, and all sorts of things like that. And he said if your income is divided into two, then your consumption is also divided into two: permanent consumption and transitory consumption. But the danger there is that most of us here in this side of the world, we use our transitory income to determine our permanent consumption. That's what people will spend in December as if that's their usual income. But in January, you now see 60 days in January because they did not, because they did not spend their permanent income. Their permanent consumption. What did this income that came in December? This is my normal lifestyle. And he said, no, don't spend your transitory income as if it's a permanent income. Don't say because now they've given me 13-month salary, then let me declare the 13th bottle for everybody.
Okay.
So
what place will you put our belief in God will take care of tomorrow?
that's another factor we need to consider. That's a religious factor. It is in this type of the world that someone will wake up in the morning and say, God bless me. Yeah, this person does not have any job to do, does not have any job, does not have any service to render, does not have anything to help to humanity, and say, God bless me. You see them burning candles on a daily basis. Like, no. How many candles did Mark Zuckerberg burn before he became the richest one of the richest?
He burnt candle to read.
To read,
to program.
but not to pray.
When you go to a church, I was standing next to my driver in church, and they said, this year you'll be a billionaire. He said amen. I said for real. You look at me back, I look at Mr. Even me to say billionaire, I said amen. You know, we accept it. People that don't have school set will be saying amen to jump.
It's because it's the culture of deception.
That's what I have.
It's a culture. You see, we need, that's why I said retrospect. We need to understand that. Would I say, unfortunately, that we are celebrating Christmas at the end of the year? So it's coinciding with a lot of activity, not just because of Christmas, but the end of the year. You need to recognize that. It is the positioning of the end of the year that is aggravating many things. So people feel that, oh, this is the end of the year, I survived. It's the end of the year, my business survived. All sorts of both religious and, yes, it's a yearly Thanksgiving. But you need to understand the times and season. Even scripture says, for everything under the sun, there is a time and season. Nigeria is not in the time of celebration. Yet we can thank God without making noise. It is this noise making that we are putting together into a season that is the challenge. Who told you that you need to make a lot of noise to prove that you are thanking God or you're celebrating, as it were? And like I said, if 10 friends come together this Christmas and say, okay, we can't afford a big party, we can't even make noise. But can we just put our resources together and have fun and thank God? But it's not in the level of where we begin to spend when we know that we have issues
Rent
in
canopy,
January.
rent
Exactly,
chairs.
and all that. But unfortunately, those in that other business may get offended and say, oh, I'm not going to make the money that I used to make. Too bad. A friend of mine, she makes this boo-boo I'm wearing, and I told her, I said, everybody cut down your costing. People need to, it has to be affordable. Anything you're doing now, it must be affordable. Even the Alibabas of this world need to cut down on laptop. The tickets
I think we'll take a break now.
I'm not taking a break.
you know, I want to laugh, but the Alibabas of this world should give me some discount to go and laugh.
Okay, but you see, when it comes to that, when it
I
comes
got
to
you on that one.
Oh no, you did.
Alibaba, January 1.
Okay,
Please.
no, January 1st. No,
January
January 1st.
1st, yeah.
Let me tell you one thing. When it comes to entertainers,
Yes.
we have to live up to standards. It's a very tough. You see,
Yes.
any actor that you see at the bus stop, there are Nigerians who will say, "Hey, so it's
Son,
hard.
don't finish."
So is this one? No, don't finish."
Yeah.
But when he borrows to live well, for them to, because people aspire to some of the lives that these actors live. So some of them in the acting and show business are actually inspirators. They are inspirations to people who look at them.
Yeah.
So if somebody looks at you and sees you driving one car, 2 years, 3 years, you're like, so
Time don't hurt.
time done hard. So people are so peer pressure is another
understand.
thing. Children come back now. Those days when we live in the barracks in Ojo, and you hear somebody frying onions and everything at Christmas, we just turn and look at my mom like,
How far?
and what even makes it worse is, I don't know if you grew up in those days, people now begin to serve dishes and pass
Yes.
around the compound.
Yes.
So
Give
then they
neighbors.
now bring these plates.
Jollof rice.
Those plates that used to have Murtala Muhammad pictures around
Yes.
those plates with cover. So they bring it and give to you and say, this is for the father of the house, this is for the children.
And you
Then
too.
you open it, the smell and aroma will take over the house. You have to replicate, you have to respond to that.
Yeah.
So the peer pressure is one. The other thing is these children don't know that
Times are hard.
times are hard.
Because parents are not having
No.
the discussion.
Even when you have the
No,
discussion.
no, no. People are not having the discussion. You see, the greatest challenge for Africans, talking about a man like Warren Buffett, who has been driving the same car for many years, is not intimidated to make an impression. Those
No, but
impressions...
don't use that
no,
man.
no, no.
Don't-
We,
if
we,
I have to, I can do what the man
no,
is
no,
doing.
no, no. He got there by living a certain lifestyle on what is important. I believe, and because I deal with children,
Okay.
women, children, and the whole lot. And I found out that people don't talk to their children. They sense that children can't understand what is happening.
But they do.
you need to talk to your children. For example, when the dollar went up beyond our imagination,
People
2016,
withdrew children from
people
overseas.
withdrew children. And a lot of children began to have psychosis. There were a lot of psychological
What is
issues.
psychosis?
Mental health issues.
Did you have anything like that when they denied you anything when you were growing up?
No,
How
because
dare you?
we get an image that does not exist. Like you said, somebody has to maybe borrow, live a lifestyle. We need to talk to one another in this season. And even those of us in the entertainment industry, those of us who are pastors, imam, truth is not being told. How do you sit down in an economy where over 90 million Nigerians live on less than $2 a day, and we're still living a lie? Take, for example, like the senators in this season are going to have all sorts of padded allowances, etc. How much of that allowances for your constituency and all the things that you need is going to be used in exchange?
Sorry,
Senators
please.
are not Nigerians.
Nigerians.
They are not Nigerians.
They are from another planet.
They're supposed to
Yes.
look like them.
Let me
People
just
are
come in.
entering 2020 with more poverty instead of less because of not understanding that making an impression is not what life is all about. It's living in the facts. And who cares what they think about you?
Sorry, let me just come in just to address the two discussions both of you have had. I know I was talking about theories of consumption that I look at this guy is talking theory. These are things that we use to predict human behaviors. For instance, the issue of a relative income hypothesis, what just two of you are discussing.
The
Hold
issue
on,
of what?
Alibaba.
The issue of what?
Relative income hypothesis by James Bendry. He said your consumption is not a function of your income. but it's a function of your societal income. That's people where you live. He gave an example that if you enter an estate, the first house has a fence with flower in his house in front of it.
And a gardener.
And a garden. Second one, same thing. If the third person is building his house, even if he doesn't have money for fence, he will erect fence and also put flowers in front. That is, your consumption is not a function of your income, but a function of people around you, societal income. Then also a function of your past peak income. That is, before now, you are MD of of a company, then you lost a job.
Yes.
You still want to maintain that lifestyle. Even when there's no, but that's why you see people, they'll put on the ACs, they'll wind up their glasses, the glass of their car in traffic, and put on fan because the AC is not working.
But that one is probably because of all those boys.
Yeah, security.
No, why is that? They want people to know that, okay, my AC is still working. That's why you give an example of entertainers the other time. That they have a particular lifestyle that all of us are we are expecting from you. Just like one interview I listened to, I think Yanya, when he was singing, when he sang Kukere, I Get Money. He was saying that at that time, when he was singing, I Get Money, he had just 4,000 in his account. And was saying, I get money, kukere.
But you know, it's inspiring somebody.
It's inspiring people. Yeah, people
like the guy that sang, if we know by the Benz, waiting we get. And you see people who don't have keke napep
singing it.
Singing the same thing.
Because, you know, that also shows the
or the ones that are singing 30 billion for their account.
30 billion.
It shows the intensity, just like the pastor who is being told that, oh, today you're going to be a billionaire, right?
Billionaire.
And someone says amen. It goes to the entertainment industry that creating an image that does not exist. There are issues within all sectors that must address the reality. In the Institute, we call it facing the brutal fact of your current realities. Howbeit, I mean, you are one of their biggest mentors. We need to create even the songs that shows the aspiration for work as the mean for gain, not an inspiration for want. Because I don't care how much you inspire. After you inspire for a while, that's what causes frustration. Today, the biggest business makers that are going into 2020, knowing that their business is going to thrive, is the mental health sector. Because it is on the increase. We're talking about mental health of fathers, mental health of mothers, and the mental health of the children. Today, Nigeria is number 3 in the suicide watch clock. Because our children are beginning to give up and kill themselves because of a life we are presenting that does not really exist. And so it is our responsibility in this sober Christmas. Yes, we should rejoice. One of the things I told people, say, I will be thankful. Even if I don't have all that I wanted, I have issues financially, but I say I will not allow those things to depress me, but I'd rather use my time during Christmas when the noise level has dropped, the traffic has dropped, to reflect on what I need to do in 2020. But so we need to change our retrospect.
So what should we do?
I said it at the beginning. Reduce your cost expenditure, knowing that there is a future. As an economist, we talked about that. If you can't kill a goat, there is nothing wrong in sharing to kill one. I told them at the beginning that even God knew that. That he said, when you're bringing your sacrificial lamb, if a family cannot afford to get a lamb, come together. So even God doesn't look in heaven and say, oh, the one lamb that they are sacrificing for me, oh, it be like saying, 10 people gather. Because that's what we are making it sound that say, oh, if I don't kill my chicken, if I don't do this, if I don't do that.
So they will sacrifice communal goats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those who are leaders, who can afford, because there are a few in that higher zone, and in every society, make that Christmas alive for your community. Let's see community leadership come alive. That yes, we know there's poverty. Yes, we know this are happening, but give joy. If I used to kill a cow for only my family, can I, like the Muslims would do during Ileya, the big Salah, they will give the piece of meat around. They know the people around that they are giving piece of meat. Sometimes you give to those of your neighbors. Sometimes they give to the ones that couldn't afford it. We need to understand that this season, there is pressure. But what does pressure do that is not good? Is that mental issue. Before you know, you were trusting for that 1 million this year. It didn't come.
So anticipation is one of the reasons that leads to this depression.
There's a difference between, yes, anticipation that is not based on reality of truth. You need to know that you need to anchor anticipation on something. It is not ephemeral. It can't just be in the air. I know that one day.
But you know that anticipation in Nigeria, people can anticipate on behalf of you. I'm telling you, there's somebody in the village now that's going, they promoted my brother.
It's
So
coming
this
home.
Christmas.
Oh, is it down? Oh,
Correct.
we see him on TV.
Yeah.
That means,
no. That one,
some things are good.
I have,
Okay,
I have
like-
suffered a lot
like
in that
Chimamanda.
regard.
Chimamanda talked about when they kidnapped her dad. That the people said, she's an international author. Have you converted that to cash?
Exactly.
And they were saying, they kidnapped, they were calling her and said, bring the money.
Bring the dollars.
He said, I'm a writer. I said, write a check.
Okay. We're going to take a moment. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back in a moment. Please don't go away. For staying with us, and we're still talking about spending money in this festive season. Money matters in this festive season, how to go about it. If you've been listening carefully, we've talked about the need to be a little bit more retrospective, right? And then do a bit of sharing and see how things... But there's something Alibaba said that some people actually do some anticipation on your behalf. So they actually... Please explain.
Which is why a lot of people who go into government offices
Get into trouble.
can't tell their people in the village that there's no money in this office. They say, if you know that you can't bring money, let's send somebody else.
And then they end up stealing.
They always push them
have
to
to.
And some of them too is the wives they have.
Yeah.
Some wives will tell you, are you the only one that has occupied this office?
I wonder.
Other people have occupied these offices and their wives
And
have
they
shopping
go that
malls.
want to buy
What are we talking about? Let's do something. The money is not yours.
Public funds.
And then the people that put you under pressure for your own money, some of them don't have work. They just sit down. As soon as they hear that their brother is now a branch manager of a bank, they feel he owns the vault.
bank.
And they can always...
So the mother, the auntie will just send, hey, Tayo, come and go to Lagos and see your brother. He's the branch manager of the bank in Akute. The brother will come and go to, and when he gets to the bank, he sees everybody going, yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. And people are bringing money. He will think as they bring the money, as
The percentage goes to him.
We know also, like my own dad, we created that thing.
impression.
You know, there are seven complexes. One of the complexes is called the God complex. My dad was given to a point that they believed he had a printing press.
Abi?
Wow.
So by the time he became broke, after going briefly into politics and coming out, they felt he was changing.
Or he was stingy.
Yes, that he was becoming stingy. To the point that he was ill.
And nobody
And
came
they
to-
didn't come. And they asked them, this old man is ill. He has a title. Why are you guys not coming? Say he has not sent a vehicle
Come on.
for us to visit him.
And we,
What am I saying? I have seen
Perception.
this over my years. At least I'm over 50 and I have looked at Nigerian carefully. Our culture is corrupt. There is what I call cultural corruption that requires cultural shift. That understanding in someone's mind that someone is owing you is an
Entitlement.
evil under the sun. Nobody owes you jack.
Not
If
even
you
your
get,
parents.
is a privilege. We all have bills to pay. I have mounting bills I need to clear. Then I'm also trusting God. But peradventure it doesn't happen. Is that the end of the world? No, I rescale. Ask those creditors, how far? Then I just give me
Some time.
some time.
I know they run.
I'm not running anywhere. But the fact is that when you have within the religious sectors, whether Christian church, especially within the church, I'm a Christian, I'm also a clergy. The fact is that we have expanded this case. We have disgraced the name of God by telling people that they can access wealth without the principle
working.
of work. When you have in the church, most people are not working and nothing is being done for
they
work to
have
be
faith.
created. What is faith without work? And so we need to reevaluate. I believe that this Christmas puts us on the edge as a nation to say, let us look into ourselves. And that's why I told friends, I said, look, how far? The person I used to send maybe a bag of rice. My mom is late. I used to always Christmas send a bag of rice. My older sister is now there. I have an older sister-in-law here and there. I'm not giving anybody a bag of rice. If I had a bag before, I'm going to give you half. If you get a quarter, you better say thank you. If you don't want to say thank you, it is your problem. But I will not be put under any pressure by anybody in this class. The only people that I felt I needed to go even a little bit beyond is the young ones. And I'm rewarding them according to their behavior from the beginning of the year. I told them, I said, I watched you.
Continuous
If you
assessment.
Yes. If your attitude is not good enough, you get nothing. You need to learn that work, money has a value. It doesn't drop from the heavens. It is not my right. Money is not a right. It's the only thing that doesn't have a right.
Okay, so let's see this thing about promos. You know, this period, there are promos. So is there anything wrong with taking advantage? Let me start from the economist. Taking advantage of the promo.
Buy one, get for free.
Yeah, all sorts of discounts. I mean, Black Friday just passed and all that. Is there anything wrong with taking advantage of it?
Yeah.
Would that cost more spending or less?
It will cost more spending. Well, let me also come in as an accountant here, because I'm also a chartered accountant. When there is quantity discounts, it gives you an opportunity to buy more, right? But at the end of the day, it brings down the cost price of. For instance, if an item is sold 100 naira per one, and I want to buy 10, and it's okay, buy 20, get 2 free. So that means they are giving me 22 at the price of 20. At the end of the day, my average price is 22. I mean, the amount I've paid divided by 22, not divided by 20. So it brings down the cost price. And by bringing down the cost price, it gives me an opportunity to buy more. And again, now come in as an economist here, anytime anybody is doing a promo, reducing the actual price of an item, that means there's what we call producer surplus, or other producer surplus or consumer surplus. That means they were cheating you ab initio. That's the meaning. So the only thing they're just returning to you what they have been collecting before now. That's as an economist. In economists, we don't believe in quantity discount, because there's nothing under this heaven that is free in economy, not even the hair. I think I've said this on this station before.
Now that if the toll gate is opened at go ahead.
Okay. Nothing in this heaven is free, not even because of opportunity cost. Even the hair is not free. In fact, hair is one of the most expensive products in this whole world. The hair we breed, it's very expensive because it's only the living that I enjoy. And we said the cost of what we have is what we live to you sacrifice to get it. So to enjoy the free hair, it means you have to be alive. So your cost of being alive on a daily basis is the cost of the hair we're getting free of charge. So that's opportunity cost. So if someone says, I've been selling this in 100 naira, now buy it 30 naira, that means I've been issued. The 100 naira was not the fair price. You can't sell below your cost price. That means I've been cheating me to the tune of 17 naira all this while. You are just telling me that I want to.
That means that bride price will not come down again.
Okay, you want to argue that out?
Not necessary.
Okay.
It could be that I have over inventory.
Clearance sales.
And I've got new stock coming in, so I want to get rid of this.
This one.
But before you do that, that means in the first instance, what you are clearing is about getting obsolete. That's another implication.
Or
you
you
have to
got
look at
your money back, and these ones doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Another way, that means that one is about getting obsolete. You're about pushing them out. There's always something hidden somewhere that I'm not seeing.
Has an answer.
Yes, there's always something hidden somewhere. And again, if you're also doing that, it means maybe I've made too much profit from you guys. I've cheated you a lot, and I look at them. It's just like government giving you subsidy. It's like a subvention for collecting tax from you. I've collected too much tax from you. Then let me give you 13th salary. Let me give you subsidy. That's the implication. So if you are selling an item at 70%, I don't even go there. We're selling at 70% discount, except for Alibaba is giving me free ticket for January 1st. No. So that one, I won't consider that one a free gift.
That's not part of it.
It's not part of the discount.
It's part of the discussion.
Because January 1st is a program towards my children's school fees.
Okay.
Since 2015, I've been attending the show. So this
We
time
should have
around,
shareholding factor.
so there is no free lunch anywhere, not even in Freetown. Nothing in this whole world is free. And I keep saying that. If you are saying, okay, I want to give you any discount or what have you, number one, there will always be an ulterior motive towards it. Because Adam Smith says it's not to the benevolence of the baker that we have our bread, but for his selfish interest. Yes. Nobody can just say, I want to people are hungry, let me make bread for them. No, he wants to collect money from you. That's exchange. Yeah, so you
provide
can't
service.
provide service. Yes.
But you may
Money is-
do kindness where you.
That's very positive. You can do. In fact, you can do. Say,
Show
we don't
kindness.
give. We don't say. We don't discountenance
Yes,
CRS. You can
that's
give
what I
corporate
mean.
social
Show
responsibility. We can
kindness.
do all that. But when it comes to promo, discount, or what have you,
On
check
the line.
very, very well. There is something somewhere.
There's
Either
an
Black Friday
ulterior
or
motive.
there's ulterior motive
There's
somewhere
one
there.
other thing
Yeah.
that I want you to speak to.
Yes, sir.
And it is the fact that people who come to you to borrow
Okay.
and do not pay also add to your problems.
Yes, sir.
Because if not are supposed to, it takes 100 from me, and they're supposed to give me the 100.
The 100
and it doesn't-
naira or 100?
No, let's leave.
No, is
no,
it
let's-
dollars,
let's- let's-
$100,000 or 100 million? Which one?
$100 million or anything. Let's not do that. It takes 100 from me and I'm supposed to return it. Failure of him returning that 100 means that if another person comes to come and take 100, it becomes a problem to give that person
Yeah,
a
yeah.
100. But people don't understand that dynamics.
Okay.
So you just look around now, after a year, you find that you have 100 here, 100 here, another 100 here. When you now tell somebody else no,
They say you are wicked.
they say you are wicked. But that's why they don't want to borrow Nigerian money now. Because we've borrowed here, borrowed there, the thing is plenty. So what do we do with saying no or telling people, I can't lend to you now? How do we go about that? I can't do that now.
Yeah, I understand. Well,
Saying
number
no.
one,
That's
saying no.
Saying no.
Yes, saying
Most
no.
of us have, sorry, excuse me. No, most of us have actually suffered a lot in this regard. You know, turning people down or people even turning you down, how you feel about it. Let me try to correct an impression about individual borrowing. If you lend him 100 and he's returning 100 to you, irrespective of the time he's paying you back, you are losing. Because of time value.
But if I get my 100 back, let's just get the 100 back.
Don't complicate the
No, I'm not
Let's get
complicating.
the
Let me
100 back.
explain.
Dotun, wait. You're about to spoil. Dotun, wait. You're about to spoil.
Let's just get that 100 back, whether the
Wait,
quality
Dotun, please don't spoil
economists.
my prospect. I was about to collect $100,000 from Ali for this festive period, and then return it later.
Okay, let me let him know.
No,
that you
no,
returning the money.
Don't
that
don't
have
do
been
no.
devalued.
You
That
know,
been devalued because
he's not
of time
paying for
value
the-
of
he's not
money.
paying
No,
for the
it's about the
consultation.
relationship.
Okay.
Not necessarily about the return
Yeah.
on value. It's about the value of the relationship.
Relationship.
The question is, will I return the 100?
To start with.
And how can he say no?
Okay, so he just said a vital word. When the people borrow that 100 from you,
Okay.
do they have a mind to pay it back? I have a guy that is owing me. I can mention. Okay, no, I won't
don't
mention it. That's owing me like 500K. He was somewhere one day and people were saying, this Alibaba is stingy. The guy said, yes, so. And wait that. So the guy said, yes. So one of the guys that knew that had assisted the guy that time called me and told me, that guy don't pay you your money. I said, no. He said, well, that's somewhere they discuss now. The guy said, you did stingy. I said, don't worry. So I sent the guy my account number.
Since I'm stingy.
I said,
return my money.
boy, you never still pay that. He said, may I give him? I said, no, forget, you don't reach 6 years. Oh, yes.
Well, I should pay you back more than 500.
I said, so pay the money back. So I continued to harass him. Now 400 remain now. He paid 100.
Wow.
So it's
Now-
collecting your money back that is a problem.
Now, let me come in that sense. Even before you lend as a lender here,
You should know who you are
consider-
lending
Yeah,
to.
there are 5 C's of
So
credit.
let us go.
The lecturer.
I'll mention just one of them. 5 C's of credit. And one of them is capacity. The person you are lending to, does he have capacity to pay back? So most lenders don't consider that, this guy needs money, is my guy.
Some of them
Let
don't
me
come
give-
from capacity. They come from my brother. How you look
Yeah,
at my
so
children.
before
No,
you
but
give,
like, as
so
a
look
country,
at what's the
and
money
see,
money
that's
meant
the
for? Is it for
downside.
consumption or for
Excuse me,
investment?
this
If
is
I give one for
the
consumption, the possibility of
downside
getting
economy that is not juxtaposed upon nations. I beg to differ.
Okay.
Economy, as a principle, has an environmental factors.
Sure.
I have a situation that I needed to borrow money, but all the things that were supposed to happen to me for me to return didn't happen because of the economy.
That's capacity. That's where
No,
capacity comes
it's not
in.
just capacity. It's
Is
called
the economy?
the
Yeah, is
environment.
the economy affecting your capacity to pay back?
That's
That's
what I'm
factors
saying, but how does he
responsible for.
predict it? Is he God?
He's not God.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. He's not
Excuse
God. So
me.
at times when someone
No,
is
no.
owing you and is not paying back,
Okay, so
don't
it means that when
really
the person comes to me now and says, I want 100,000, I say, hold on. Capacity.
No, it's not.
Is this country...
That is not how to
the
do
way
the
this country
evaluation.
is
No, but that's
now.
what I'm saying. That
Because country is going like this.
no, but
this.
thank God that things are
Honorable.
getting better within the banking sector, and by the grace of God, maybe businesses will pick up.
Okay.
I do partly real estate in some things.
Okay, sir.
I have like 4 properties that are just sticking in my face. But I have the capacity.
nobody wants
I
to
have
take them.
capacity for name it. But these properties are hello properties. Move. That's not to prayer point. But it should not be prayer point. If I were in the UK where fluidity of money, access to fund to move it around is available. I mean, I don't expect that someone like him doesn't want to earn more real estate so that because that's one of the best investments. But the buying ability of Nigeria, even for the rich, has gone
reduced,
down.
yeah.
It's still the same thing. It still
No, but
boils
you
down
see,
to.
that's why you can't say that. When I'm saying that, if you start saying capacity
We
alone, we
must
will
wind
not
down now.
No, we have to
get
go
the
now.
end.
We don't get to. So,
If the
so
matter, we will not get to the
We
end.
have to go now.
But before
Mr.
you-
Mabinori,
Even
Yes,
the
ma'am.
banks are
I
not
am
meeting up.
afraid that you did not do us good in this. I
I decided to shake. I decided to shake the table. To shake the table this December, so that everybody will sit
Thank
down.
you for coming. Merry Christmas, Mrs. Juliet
Merry
Binichie,
Christmas.
Thank you.
and Mr. Oladotun Mabinori, who's an economist, obviously, and also an accountant.
Oh yes, very
Who's-
accomplished.
who's
You should
been-
be a lecturer.
He's actually a lecturer.
Oh, he's no wonder the principles are a lot.
We'll
Yes.
be right back after this break.
Oh, well, that was, you just saw a little bit of a DJ Bobby.
Oh yeah. And music is life.
Oh, yeah.
Music is life, and you have. There's some people who actually enjoy music as a healing element.
Yes.
True.
They say, they say music is therapy.
Yeah, it makes them heal properly. Gives them. Some people. That's why some people listen to jazz, but you can't listen to Gidigbo music when you want to feel.
No, but it depends on the kind of Gidigbo music you want. I like the Gidigbo music. You know, if you listen to old school Gidigbo music, it can be somewhat soothing and all of that. If you,
We'll thank DJ Bobby.